Hello, today Isabelle and I are going to be talking about the 5 things that you need to know about this upcoming Virgo New Moon that is happening on September 6th. So if this is your first time to our channel, I'm Gabi.
I'm Isabelle.
Here at Making Mindfulness Fun, we help you on a journey to higher consciousness so you can experience more joy, love, and emotional liberation.
Please, before we get into the video, make sure that you like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on those post notifications because we try to put out a video every single day and we want you to know the second we put it out.
So this Virgo New Moon that is happening on the 6th is going to be happening in opposition to Neptune, that's retrograde, and it's going to be forming a trine between the Sun and the Moon and Uranus, that is also retrograde. So in this video, we're going to break down how this energy is going to affect you and the things that you really need to know in order to embrace this energy properly and so that you don't get thrown off course.
So the first thing that we want you to know is that you need to focus on that service is first. And what does this mean? Virgo is naturally a giving sign. It wants to help others. It wants to be of service. It wants to be the first to lend a hand. However, with Virgo, what it can turn into often, if you're unhealthy and you're a Virgo, if you're stressed and you're a Virgo, you can tend to serve from the wrong state of mind. We want to serve in an act of selfless service, of purely wanting to give and serve others. But what we can end up doing is using service as bypassing for our emotions or from stress. We can use it so that we can feel validated. So we want to make sure with this new moon in Virgo that's happening on the September 6th that we are serving from the right place and that we are serving. So look at your life and look at, am I serving people? Who am I serving? And do I have a sense of self-worth? And am I doing it for the need to be validated?
Another thing to be aware of is that because of the opposition of Neptune in retrograde, we have to be aware of idealism and escapism. Neptune in retrograde can often be the sense of ourself. The opposite of of Neptune retrograde would be if we're in the moment we say life is terrible, life is suffering. Well, when Neptune energy is all about life is great, and when it's retrograde, it tends to be accentuated and a little bit more inward oriented. And so because we're like life is so great, but then we're inward oriented, it creates this internal escapism and this internal idealism. And so what that has to do with this whole service aspect of Virgo, of paying attention to how we're trying to serve people, we have to be aware of times when we're trying to save people, because saving people has this sort of idealism to it, right? We're the heroes and we come to people's rescue, but that's not necessarily serving those people best. So we can be drawn to people who have this victim mentality. That's something to be aware of, and try not to get caught in those situations during this time, and try to come from a place of true unconditional love for the right people. Set boundaries on victim mentalities.
Yes, perfect. And another thing is that the most important aspect I think right now that is very intense for this new moon is the trine with Uranus. Now Uranus is currently in Taurus, I believe, and this is 2 earth signs that are making a perfect trine. And what this means for us is, well, Virgo is all about critical thinking and being analytical. And so what we're going to feel during this time as Uranus is coming in with this energy of wanting newness, it's kind of an Enneagram 7 if you heard us talk about this before. It wants newness, inspiration, and change. So what's happening is that you're going to feel an intense desire to make change and make practical change. And what's going to show up with your intention, if you have this intention, is that you're going to see change in the physical reality, because these are 2 earth signs and it controls our physical reality, our things that we can literally see, our physical body. So think about what it is you want to change in your life and how you can practically change that. You also have on top of it a Mars trine with Pluto and a Venus trine with Pluto. So this is giving us extra motivation and extra optimism for these changes. So this is going to be a huge deal for us as we're entering this new moon season.
So the third thing that you need to know is that during this time, you might feel a strong desire to want to escape the grind. So in this whole Virgo aspect, right, Virgo is all about making plans, sticking to the tasks, and organizing our life, right? But at the same time, we've got this Uranus energy that's like, oh, but I want newness. And Uranus is all about doing what you love. It's all about pursuing passion, or particularly not necessarily passion, but doing the things that make you intrinsically fulfilled. And so at this time, you're gonna have this shift between feeling stuck in, or feeling Virgo energy of I've been stuck in this routine. But when Uranus comes in right now, you might feel this desire that you want to escape this grind that you've been stuck in. And so with this energy, it's a really good time to not just necessarily, other seasons like Leo season might be like, okay, feel into the energy you want to create. Virgo season right now, this Virgo new moon, is about writing down, making a plan of what that life would look like that you really want. It's about manifestation, but in the practical sense and the planning sense.
Yes, so much so. Not all like Leo season that we had, or we had a Sagittarius eclipse recently back in a few months that we also did one on that was way more about that Leo energy type. This is way different with the Virgo new moon. And another thing that we want to note is that you have to get grounded. Virgo's an earth sign, and it requires both grounding in your reality and nature, but also grounding into your sense of self. So making sure this time you're not going to like Gabi said, I'm just gonna wing it, I'm gonna just follow my dreams, not think about it. Think about the practicality, ground into what you want. And especially, we're reading this book right now by Joe Dispenza about how your emotions shape your reality, and I think this is a really big one at this time because we can notice our patterns that we're going through, and Virgo controls our past, our childhood wounds. So noticing what past patterns we've been going through, what past emotions we are currently allowing to shape our future, and practicing grounding into the things, the reality we want, the emotions we want, and working on meditating daily, hourly, whatever it is, on that emotion you want to manifest, and grounding into that.
So the fifth thing that you need to know about this Virgo new moon, and this one's gonna sound a little bit woo-woo, but you might feel called to speak to the spirits of your ancestors, okay? So maybe it's not spirits, maybe it's just a calling to speak to align with your ancestral lineage. But this Virgo energy has a lot to do with your ancestors and the people that came before you to bring you to where you are now, right? The amount of people that had to come together in a perfect way to make it so that you were born, it's incredible. So you have a really strong connection to your ancestors, and not only alive ancestors, but also the dead ones, the ones that are spirits that still speak to us, right? And so during this time, it's important to pay attention to what spirits might be telling us, because those spirits that you might be listening to might be your ancestors that are trying to tell you something, because Virgo is a time of practicality, and your ancestors might have some guidance on what practical steps to take during this time.
Yes. So in summary, the 5 things you need to remember are ground, practice serving others, take action but make a plan, and you were going to want to feel like you want to escape the grind. So think about the reality you want to create. Listen to your ancestors, and in summary with that one is follow your talents. You're going to feel called to them as well. So we really hope, me and Gabi on our app, Nomads with a Purpose, you've probably heard us talk about it on our channel. We have an app, Nomads with a Purpose. And for this new moon, we are hosting a live new moon ceremony on September 6th. And we would love for you to be there.
These new moon ceremonies are an extremely powerful time, not only to embody the energy that's present in the during the astrological transits that are present, but they're also just a great time to stay on track with your goals, your dreams, your manifestations. In our ceremonies, they're hour-long ceremonies, and we take you through mindful movement, breath work, yoga, meditation, visualization, and journal prompts. And with all of this together, we jam-pack everything that you need into 1 hour to stay aligned to the path that you really want for the 2 weeks surrounding that new moon period. And we do new moon and full moon ceremonies, so you can check out the link below. And if you sign up for premium membership, then you get access to them. It's a really amazing ceremony, and even if you're not super into the astrological aspect of, oh my gosh, the new moon is going to change me this month, which it can, but new moons, all the astrological transits are very subtle energies that you have to pay attention to. And so really it's all about the intention that we bring, that we choose to use these transits as a time to set our intentions around those things. Because whether or not you think Virgo actually has to do with practicality, it's a good time to once in a year, because each season happens for 1 month of 12 months of the year, it is always a good time to spend one period of your time focusing on practicality and making the plan to create the life you want.
Yes, and this is something we're really passionate about. Me and Gabi love hosting these ceremonies. It's something that we wish we could do more often, but for now we're just going to keep it at the full moon and new moon. So please hit that link in the description below to join our app and register to join the full new moon ceremony. We would love to have you there, and we know it's going to help you so much with setting your intentions for this new moon in Virgo. Namaste.
Namaste.